Hey guys, how are you? My name is Aruna Evan from atomicpetal.com and this is SSSVEDA Day 2. Today's topic is whether or not cardio may actually be ruining your life. I admit the title is a tiny bit clickbaity, but genuinely, too much cardio can actually make your life really, really difficult. You want to be doing about 150 minutes a week of cardio for cardiovascular health. This is 150 minutes of moderate exercise, meaning you're not just phoning it in and kind of taking it easy, but you're also not going at the highest of high intensity, so you don't feel like you need to actually die and your heart's gonna fall out of your body. A good shorthand for this is like 30 minutes, 5 days a week, you're good to go. Alternatively, if you really like being intense, you can do 75 minutes of high intensity cardio. If you're doing a lot more than this, you might want to reevaluate what it's actually doing. 1, for your emotional health, 2, for your time commitments, and also, most importantly, 3, for your physical fitness goals. Too much cardio can be absolutely boring, especially if you're doing the same exact type of cardio day in, day out, and it's just at the same exact pace. You're just running on the treadmill, watching a show on TV. So boring. One thing that's actually really widely talked about in the fitness community that I think a lot of people who go to the gym don't necessarily know is that running can be really bad for your knees in the long run. If you are slamming your whole body weight on your legs over and over and over again for an hour a day, 5 days a week, think about how much impact that is on your knees. A lot of people who do this professionally have a lot of time to recoup, recover, and they recover actively. Like they pay for treatments. I read somewhere that LeBron James spends more than $1 million every year just on recovery, tools, and treatments. Why? Because he's running all over the place all the time. In basketball, you run constantly. You also run the risk of developing muscular imbalances because when you run or do one specific thing all the time, it uses only one set of muscles. But what about all the rest of your muscles? When your muscles get this imbalance, like some of them are stronger than others, it can start to create some really unhelpful dynamics within your own body that can lead to injury down the line. So you really want to try to prevent that. And if your goal is to lose weight, here's the most important thing to know about too much running at the same exact pace for too long of a time. Doing this way too much each week can actually encourage increased fat storage big time. How does this happen? Well, 2 reasons. 1, your body, if it runs for too long of a time, I think it signals something to the body. Your cortisol levels actually increase, your stress hormones increase, and cortisol helps fat to be deposited on the body because your body's like, crap, we're in trouble. We need to store extra food because that's what we do when we're in trouble. The body thinks that for crazy historical biological reasons that are totally outdated, but hey, it still thinks that, which works against us when we run way too much. But the other reason actually is that fat is a major fuel source for running it at a steady state, or cardio. I say running for shorthand because that's what most people do, but cardio at a steady state, so the same pace for a long amount of time. It uses fat to do that because fat is a very slow burning fuel. If you run a lot more, your body adapts to the fact that you're running a lot more. At first, you'll burn the fat and you'll lose the weight, but in the long run, you're gonna gain it back, and that's gonna be so frustrating because you're gonna be putting more and more and more time into running. You're like feeling like you're losing your freaking social life. You can't go out on a Friday night because if I don't run for that extra hour on a Friday night, I'm gonna keep gaining weight, right? The fact of the matter is that's actually working against you because the more you do that, the more your body adapts to the need to burn this many calories of fat every week. And your body starts to store that, thinking, I need that for later, right? But the good news is that there's something you can do about this if this is happening to you. You want to start keeping track of how much time you're spending running or doing any steady state cardio, like I've mentioned. So you want to keep it around 150 minutes of moderate exercise of cardio or 75 minutes of intense exercise. You want to mix it up with lifting weights. Now, if you're worried about bulking up and gaining way too much muscle, don't worry, it's not likely to happen to you unless you're predisposed to doing that, like your body's primed for it. And I'm gonna address this a little more on day 7, so if you're curious about that, stick around. But the gist of the matter is you really wanna lift weights because lifting weights helps you burn fat 24/7. So it works for you even when you're sleeping, when you're eating, when you're chilling and watching Netflix. Because your body adapts to your cardio workouts, you really wanna change things up about every 2 weeks. I mean, if you have the energy to do it every week and you get bored in that amount of time, then do it every week, do what you need to do. But generally, it's about every 2 to 3 weeks, you really wanna change things up. Do something different, do a different type of cardio, do it at a different pace, just change it up and mix it up. And I really, really highly recommend that you try interval training. Interval training, for example, could be a minute of running fast, 30 seconds of running at a moderate pace, and then another minute of running really fast, lather, rinse, repeat. It turns out this is an extremely efficient way of doing your cardio. Remember that cardio absolutely, obviously, is still a really good thing. It's just that even too much of a good thing can become a bad thing. And I think in popular culture right now, we're used to thinking of a lot of cardio, like too much cardio, as exactly what you need to be doing. And you don't have to. It is all about balance. All right, now I have a question for you. When you were a kid, did you have a favorite sport that you liked to play? And if so, what was it? Oftentimes the sports we played as kids involved a lot of running. If you played volleyball, you had to sprint towards the ball. If you played basketball, you had to sprint between the hoops. So was there a sport that you really, really liked as a kid? Write it down below and let me know. I think it's really important to think about cardio as fun and efficient. And I think that's something we naturally achieved when we were kids playing sports. So definitely comment down below and let me know what your favorite sport was as a kid and why you loved it so much. Now, if you want to see my personal channel, I'm also doing SSSVEDA there. It's under my own name, Aruna Evan. I'm going to leave a link down below to that. There's a totally separate set of questions, obviously, so you won't get bored watching both. But yeah, other than that, I have nothing else to say other than always, always, always remember that you deserve the life you've always imagined. So go out and get it, girl. Thanks for joining. I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.